It's good to see everybody. Model A or Model T. Yeah. Actually, it was a Coupe de Ville. I bought a brand new Cadillac in 1974. Went down to the dealership, paid cash for it, and rolled it off the floor. I think it cost me about $6,000. And but I worked hard, man. I worked for my dad in a restaurant. And people didn't tip me, buddy. I followed them out to the car and asked them what their stinking problem it was. Yep, it had the big sale, buddy. Had the big sale. But, well, let's rock and roll. It's good to see everybody. It's good to have everybody on. We got some folks on that hadn't been on in a while. We got some folks on that have been here every single week, and it's absolutely wonderful to see everybody. And I'm doing good, Andy. Thank you, buddy, for asking. Thank you so much. We're going to have a great training tonight and roll. But it's always a pleasure and an absolute honor to see everybody. So let's get going here. And we'll get a little housekeeping out of the way real quick. If you haven't joined our YouTube channel, join our YouTube channel at youtube.com/InstantAppWizard. And I know many of you have. And like us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/InstantAppWizard. And if you did not know how to sign in, or if we were having training tonight, my DSL is showing good. I don't know what the problem is, but anyway. Can everybody hear me okay? I hope so. Okay, everybody says they can hear me okay. You know what, Arthur? Let me answer that right off the bat. I tell you what, let me cruise through this right here, and I'll answer that right off the bat. Arthur says, what got you in the mobile app business? And but if you do not remember if you signed up or not, go to instantappwizard.com/training and sign up. If you don't remember if we have training or not, if you will text appcall, APPCALL, to 727-478-1343, you will get a text reminder. And if you haven't joined our Facebook group, go to facebook.com/groups/InstantAppWizard and leave any suggestions and ideas. And there's a lot of great people in that group that will help you. Before I get started on Never Cold Call Again, let's talk about what got me in the mobile app business. I had a roofing company, and I know mobile apps were getting hot. And I wanted a way for my guys to go out and be able to market consistently and continually when we didn't have any hailstorms. And so I was looking around trying to figure out how to build an app on my own, and I was, somebody just said we lost sound. You got to be kidding me. Does everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Okay, everybody can hear me. But anyway, because I'm sure I've got great sound. But anyway, so I started learning how to develop and build a mobile app, and I'm not too techy. And it was taking me forever, so I wanted to find a little platform, just like a little web builder, that would build a mobile app for me. And I found a YouTube video for Instant App Wizard. And I was actually Instant App Wizard's first reseller. And I knew it would do exactly what I wanted. I wanted the text messaging, and all I wanted was an app where I could go out and collect names and numbers so that when a storm came through, I could go into that database and contact those people. And so I did. And that year I did $1.9 million in business because I had a database. We had a storm come through, and I had a database that when the storm swath, everywhere the storm swath went, and that's the path of the storm, it leaves what's called a swath, where the potential hail was. I went in and clicked on the zip codes for those areas, and I sent out an immediate text message. It said, remember me? We talked to you earlier. I am your roofer. Give me a call and we will come out and give you a free inspection. It didn't say it just like that, but you get the gist. And the next day our phone started ringing off the wall. Did I want to do this as a side job or a full-time job? Actually, I didn't get in it to do it as a job at all until I saw what it did for my roofing company. Then I sold my roofing company, and I thought, you know what, I want to get in the mobile app business. And I talked to these guys at Instant App Wizard, and I said, man, you guys got the greatest product in the world, and they had somebody doing some videos for them. And I said, but your trainer wasn't too good. I said, I know a guy that could do that. And I started trading for him and got in the mobile app business. And the more I learned about it, the more I liked it. And the more I liked it, the better it got. And I started developing some niche markets and started doing some things. And now it's a full-time job. And I sell apps all over the United States, and it works out real good. Actually, I don't sell apps. I sell digital business cards. That's my business. That's what I put together with the Instant App Wizard, was the digital business cards. And it works out very, very well. And developed that, I don't know, about 2 years ago, I guess, and works real, real good. So Vincent George said his audio went out. But it worked out real good for me, and it's still working out real good for me, and build a lot of digital business cards. And, you know, and we're going to talk about full-time, part-time, and all that kind of tonight when we go into sales. You know, Arthur, I believe it is what you make it. I don't care. Anytime you own a business, it's never part-time, because you're going to give 100% of your time to it to grow it and make it happen. You may have another job, but your priority is going to be to build your own business. I mean, we live in the greatest country in the world where you have the opportunity to build your business. You can do one of two things in this country. You can sit on your lazy butt and do nothing and collect a check from the government, and not very much. I mean, if that's how you want to live, that's fine. Or you can get out and work hard and make all the money you want to make and do the things you want to do, and you can travel and you can have fun. And with the mobile app business, I can travel and do this from anywhere. If I've got a Wi-Fi connection and a laptop, I can build apps anywhere I want to build them. Nothing holds me back from building my business or doing my job, except if I'm lazy. And I can promise you I'm not lazy. And so I don't think anybody that owns their own business is ever part-time. I think you're full-time. I think your other job just holds you back from really helping you to do what you want to do. So, and that's just my 2 cents worth on that. But let's get started here. I highly recommend you get into this business full-time, since it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and a lot of people out there don't understand what a mobile app is. And it's our job and your job as the mobile consultant to get out there and show them exactly what to do. But you know what holds most people back, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is cold calling. You know, the toughest thing, and we talked about this last week before we lost sound. Tangeria, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time. Yeah, you're full-timer, full of something. That's right. But you know, cold calling sucks. I'll be the first to tell you, I don't like walking in and talking to people blind off the street. I do because I like to eat. And I like to eat good, and I like to eat well, and I like to do things that I enjoy doing. But you know, so but the biggest drawback in any business is cold calling. It's in any sales. If you sell, and whether you believe it or not, you may own a mobile app company. How you doing, George? Good to see you, buddy. You may own a mobile app company, but you're still a salesman. Okay, you're going to go out and sell this product. But you know what's amazing? People don't want to be sold nothing. Nobody wants to be sold. Do you go somewhere and want somebody to sell you something? I'm going to tell you, when I walk into a car lot, I don't want a salesman coming near me. I don't want him talking to me. I don't want him to show me nothing. I don't need him to raise the hood. I know it's got a motor in it, okay? I don't need him to show me where to put the oil, because I don't change my own oil. If they still had full-service gas stations, I would not pump my own gas, okay? So I don't need them to show me all that stuff. Show me how to turn the radio on, how to get my flashers on, and all that stuff that actually, and crank the car, and I'm good to go. I don't need nobody to sell me anything, because when I walk onto a car lot, I know what I'm going to buy. Nobody wants you to sell them a mobile app. They want you to demonstrate it to them and show them what it can do for them, okay, and do for their business, but you don't need to sell them anything. You need to demonstrate. You need to show them. And I'm going to show you tonight how you never have to cold call again. And I was talking to one of our resellers earlier, and as a matter of fact, I saw her check in a while ago, and it's good to have you on tonight, Cynthia. But I was talking to her for about an hour, because I remember talking to her maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now, and I know it's been a while, and she was starting to build her business exactly this way. And matter of fact, she has probably set a standard, and I'm going to get with her and see if maybe one night we can't have her on the call with us and let her talk, and trust me, she can talk. and she would talk for hours if we let her. But she's got some good things to say. And she can teach you some things about, she said laugh out loud. She knows she can talk. But it's all about building relationships. It's not about selling anything. And if you'll do this and do exactly what I'm going to say tonight, now some of you love sales. Some of you like to cold call. I like to cold call. I like talking. I talk to everybody, you know. I sat in a McDonald's yesterday for about 3.5 hours talking to a bunch of 70, 80-year-old rich guys, you know, from New York. And I had a great time. And I talked to them for a long time and enjoyed it. I love talking. That's why I do trainings every Wednesday. I like to talk. This is my only time of the week to get to talk. All the rest of the time I'm restrained and can't say anything. But never cold call again. And I'm telling you, if you'll listen to what I'm fixing to tell you, you'll never have to cold call again, because what you're going to do is you're going to go out there and you're going to build relationships, you're going to build friendships, and you're going to go out and ask that friend, hey, do you know anybody that needs my product? And you don't start off with saying, hey, do you know anybody that needs my product? You start off by building that relationship. Nobody wants to be sold. Nobody. I'm telling you, you don't, I don't, and neither do they. They don't have time to listen to all your crap that you're going to throw at them that they're not going to remember. Okay? The only thing they want to know is this. If you're going to show me something as a friend after we've built this relationship, what can it do for me? And if it can't do anything for me, you know what, Carrie? Let me turn you on to some people that I know that this can help. It's a relationship. Referrals is the hottest thing in the industry. If somebody gives you some referrals, I highly recommend you go to them first and not go talk to anybody else, because you're fixing to lose sales if you don't. Because guess what your friend's going to do? He's going to tell them, hey, I was talking to a buddy of mine, Carrie, and he's going to come out and he's going to show you this cool app. You know what, George, I didn't really need it, but, you know, Arthur, you probably do, because I know this can help your business. I can't see a way to fit it in my business, but you know what? I may be able to later on. But Arthur, I think it can help you. So you built that relationship, and guess who your new salesman is? Your new salesman is George. He's going to sell it for you. You don't have to sell anything. He's going to talk it up because he liked it. And because he respects you, he's going to talk you up. And because he's going to talk you up, guess what? Arthur's going to like you right off the bat because he likes George. And now what do? You don't walk into Arthur's business as a cold call. You walk into Arthur's business as George's friend who's coming to sell him a product that he needs, that he already knows about. Hell, all he wants you to do is demonstrate it for him and show him how to make it work for his business. And if you will start doing that I don't even have to show you the rest of the slides. I could stop right here. If you would start doing that every day when you go out, quit walking into these businesses trying to sell them anything. Walk into these businesses and introduce yourself. Hey, Home Auto. My name is Kerry Miller. I'm new in this area. We're starting to develop these digital business cards. I just wanted to come in and introduce myself to you. I see you got a thriving business here, and man, I can appreciate that. And maybe you can help me somewhere along the way. So tell me about yourself. How long have you been in business? What did I just do? I just gave him the opportunity to speak as long as he wants to do. What do people like to do? What does Carrie like to do every week? Carrie likes to talk about Carrie. Trust me, George wants to talk about George. George wants to talk about and tell you how he built his business from the ground up. He got it from his granddaddy and his daddy, and he's still in business, and he's thriving, and everything is going on. And guess what George does? Because he's been in that town forever, George services every single car of every single person in that town. Now, do you not think George is a good person to network with? Do you not think George is the person that you need to hook up with? Absolutely. But don't go in and selling George anything. Go in and build a relationship. Go in and start building a relationship. How many of you love to be rejected every day? How many of you like rejection? Anybody? Does anybody love to be rejected? Somebody to tell you how bad your product stinks and will throw you out the door? Is there anybody on this call that enjoys that? If you say yes, you're sick. Greg Marshall probably will say yes. You know, I'm telling you, there is nothing worse than being rejected. It's kind of like the old dog that sits on your porch and he don't belong to you, and every time you walk out there, you're kicking him off the patio, you know, and eventually he don't come back. You know, rejection sucks. I'm going to tell you. You know, Greg says it's closer to the next yes. You know what? If you learn how to not have any rejection, guess what's going to happen? Every sale is going to be a yes. You don't have to worry about rejection anymore if you build relationships. Because they're not rejecting you. They just don't understand what you have yet. And because you have a relationship, you can continue to show them. Why? Because they respect you and they like you. So you take one of the toughest parts of sale out is rejection. And you don't have to worry about rejection anymore. You know, friends don't reject you. Friends tell you the truth. You know? Maybe your friend's telling you, hey, you're not presenting this correctly, and you can ask old George, say, George, let me ask you a question. I want to show you how I present this to all my clients. And I want you to tell me if I suck or not. You know, you just gave George permission to help you out there. And now you can kind of practice on George because George is a thriving businessman in this town. And George can say, listen, Arthur, I want you to do this. Take all the BS out of your deal because these are just hometown people. I'm going to send you out to these people to talk to them and talk to them in common language. They don't know all the technical terminology. Talk to them so that they can understand you. And he just gave you a huge, huge tool for your toolbox. You know? Are you tired of no sales because you can't pick yourself up? You know? After you've been rejected all day, you come home, you look in the mirror, and you say, golly, man, I've been beat up so bad today, I can't even walk in the door. You know why? Because you're out selling and you're not building relationships. You see, some people can go out and cold call all day and make $10,000 a day. Some people can't. Tonight's webinar is for those who have a tough time selling. And there's a bunch of you on here. Nobody's going to admit it. Okay? And nobody can see what you guys type except me. But I'm telling you, there's those of you on here tonight that have a tough time selling. So this is for you. Okay? Tonight's training is for you to help you. I'm going to pick you up and show you how to start building your business methodically and go out and start building it one brick at a time. Now, this method here is a little bit slower, but guess what? If you're not doing anything anyway, but sitting in the house crying because you can't open the door, and you get in your car and you can't open the car door, and you can't open the door to the business because you can't get in, and you open the door to the business and they reject you, and you walk back out with your head between your legs, and you go back home after one call, and you say, this sucks, I can't do it. This is for you. This is for you. So tonight I'm going to pick you up and tell you don't got to do all that no more. Tonight I'm going to pick you up and tell you that I'm fixing to show you how to build a business to where you can go out and start selling apps all day long, okay? And I'm telling you right now, this is the place for you to be. Do you sit at home and think of 1 million reasons why you can't go out and sell? I'll tell you right now, man. I've told the story 1,000 times. I was 15 years old, and I was in a little seminar, and a guy gave us all a pencil. And he said, I want you to go out and sell this pencil at lunchtime. Well, I thought everybody was going to go out and sell the pencil, so I was not going to be the one to come back and not sell that stinking pencil and be embarrassed in front of about 500 people in that room. And so I went out at lunch, and instead of going to lunch, I went out and sold my pencil, and I sold it for $1. And I brought that $1 back, and I was so proud. And you know, out of 500 people, I bet there wasn't 5 people that sold that pencil. And I thought to myself, now, isn't that crazy? But you know what? Every one of them had a reason why they didn't do it. Most of them was because they was hungry and it was lunchtime. You see, my job was to go out and sell that pencil because that fella said, don't come back and don't sell that pencil. I could have made an excuse too. I could have went and got a hot dog and a Coke and a bag of chips and sit there all fat, dumb, and happy and looking like an idiot because I didn't go sell my pencil like all 495 of them did. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to stand up proud because I sold mine. I did not have a reason to not make it happen. They did. So if you're sitting at home feeling sorry for yourself and you don't have a reason to go out and make it happen, you're never going to make it happen. It doesn't matter if it's this or anything else. If you're not passionate enough to get off that couch and walk out that door and go out and build relationships, not sell anything, go out and build relationships about what you have, you're never going to do it anyway. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Stop making excuses and do what you've been doing all your life, selling. And this goes back to what somebody said earlier. You've been selling all your life. From the first time you started asking for a bottle, you were selling. Because you made somebody do something that you wanted them to do. My grandmother was she was a tyrant. she didn't like giving us nothing. Nothing. But I'm telling you what, boy, when I turned on the charm, I could get all the chocolate chip cookies I wanted. And I did. And she kept them on top of the refrigerator, and she was good enough to get up on top of that refrigerator because I told her enough times how much I loved her. If she would get me them chocolate chip cookies, she finally did it. And it was probably because she got tired of listening to me. But you know what? I still won. How many times have you asked your parents for money when you was growing up? How many on here asked their parents for money when they were growing up? Anybody besides me? Because I used to ask my dad for money all the time. I was not shy. Everybody. Everybody's saying, me, 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 me. Let me tell you something. The minute you started doing that and learned how to do it, you were selling them on the fact that you needed that money. Now, let me ask you a question. Why is it so hard to go out and take a product that everybody needs and ask for money? Why? Because you don't believe in it. Because you don't believe you can do what you've been doing all your life, is asking for things. I would tell you what, there's one thing I'm not shy about, and that's asking for my money. That's a fact. And you've been doing it since you was a baby. How do we sell and never cold call? How do we go out and sell and never cold call? And some of you are going to combine cold calling and what I'm talking about tonight. But for those of you who cannot take yourself off that couch, for those of you who cannot make yourself walk out that door, for those of you who cannot make yourself open that door and walk into a business, this is what I want you to start doing tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you listen to what I'm fixing to say, and I say this all the time on training and nobody ever listens. If you listen to what I'm fixing to say and you start doing what I'm fixing to tell you to do, you know what's going to happen? By the end of the next 12 months, you'll make more money than anybody on this call tonight. And I hope someone on here does it. And I hope by this year, time next year, Thanksgiving next year, you come on here and I'll save this training and we'll do it again. And I want you to say, you know what, Kerry, I listened to you 12 months ago. You would not believe where my business is today because I started building relationships and quit selling. I've got more referrals than I've ever had in my life. I made 6 figures this year. To heck with everything else. I'm going to continue building relationships. I'm going to continue building my business, and I don't sell anything. I let everybody else sell it for me. Because, Kerry, you told me that nobody wanted to buy. Nobody wanted to be sold, but everybody wanted to buy. And you know what, Kerry? I took that to heart. Because I know everybody wants to buy my product. I just need to let everybody else talk about it. Relationship building. That's how you do it. Go out. How many businesses in your town know what you do? And some of you are going to say all of them, okay? And that's because you only got 3 businesses in your town. How many businesses in your area know what you do? If I came to your town tomorrow and I said, Arthur, get in the car, buddy. I want you to take me to every business on this block, and I'm going to walk in and I'm going to ask them, do you know Arthur? And do you know he sells mobile apps? How many of them will tell me, oh, I know Arthur. He stops by once a week. I know Arthur. Shoot, he's by every single month. Walks in, brings me a candy bar and a Coke. Best guy in town. How many of you can truly sit here and tell me, without telling a fib, that you could take me to every business in your town and every single person would know you? And I'm not talking about the towns that got 3 businesses in them. And the surrounding towns. How many of you have gone out since you started your business and built that kind of relationship? I'm going to tell you right now. And I'm going to tell you, I haven't done this. I just woke up to this about 2 weeks ago when I started going out building relationships and my business started taking off. That's why I'm teaching you this. I've always told y'all I don't teach you anything that I've not done myself. And I realized, you know what? People don't know who Kerry Miller is. People need to know who Kerry Miller is, and people need to know what Kerry Miller does. Because when enough people know that and enough people see, and I'm going to tell you right now, Cynthia, and I'm going to get her on here, okay, in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to get her on here. I'm telling you, she built her business exactly this way because she sat and we talked about it. And she talked about her groups, and she talked about her meetings, and she talked about building these networking meetings and these mobile networking meetings where she has people come together and building relationships. It's all about relationships. You have to make friends with the business owners. You just can't walk in, okay, and say, hey, I'm Kerry Miller. I build mobile apps in the area, and I just started my business here, and what do you do? And as soon as he opens his mouth, you say, well, let me show you what I got. I got this mobile app here, and let me tell you what it can do. You can't do that because you just turned him off. You just stuck the key in the ignition, and you turned him off. And guess what? He don't want to be your friend because now he thinks you're a jackass. Okay? You're overbearing, and he don't want to listen to you. But if you just walk in and introduced yourself and let him know what you did, and then in a couple of weeks go back by and say, hey, George, I stopped in the other day. Yeah, Kerry, how you doing, man? I'm doing great. How's business, George? Man, business is good. You know what, George, let me ask you a question. You know, I told you about that. I was starting to build my business. Do you know anybody that would need a digital business card in the area? Well, you know, it's funny, Kerry. I was talking to about a dozen people about you after you left here the other day and about your products. Let me send you over to see a few of them. And I'm telling you, that will happen. Don't go in and shove the phone down his throat. Go in and shake his hand, give him a hug, and tell him you want to get to know him. He's the best person on your list. And don't just do it to him, do it to every single business. Every single business. Yeah, I think someone that has telemarketing experience and especially 14 years of it can set appointments all day long for you, Arthur. And absolutely. Matter of fact, I'm testing some telemarketing right now. We sure are. We're working on our script, but absolutely. Do I think this is a good business for you? Absolutely. And what we do is we set up appointments for demonstrations of the digital business card, and that's what we're testing right now. But absolutely, do I think it's yeah, I'd get Mom on the phone tomorrow setting me appointments. But make friends with the business owners. Get their opinions. You know, get their opinions. Say, hey, George, let me show you what I got. I got this digital business card here. It's a digital app that we set up as a business card, and it's got some marketing tools attached to it. What do you think about it? Let me tell you something. You just put George in a place that he hadn't been put in a place in a long time. You put him in a place of respect. because you're asking his opinion. And let me tell you something. When someone respects you and you respect them, they're going to give you all the referrals that you want. I can guarantee it. People want to buy, but they don't want to be sold. I beat that horse to death. Where do you need to go? Where do you need to go? The first thing you got to do is you got to go out and start talking to these businesses. And you got to talk to them, and you got to introduce yourself. You got to walk in the door, and you got to take them a cup of coffee, and you got to sit down with them and find out when their off time is. Every one of us go to lunch, okay? Especially me. Every single one of us go to lunch. Why not go out and invite about 15 or 20 of those guys to a lunch? You know? So what it costs you $150? Go out and invite some of these people to go out and sell 2 apps, and then go out and take that money, invest it in 15 of the brightest and the smartest business guys that you know around town, and take them out to lunch. I mean, most towns have a place where everybody goes and got a $7.99 lunch special, and it includes the drink and a piece of pie. Take them out to lunch, okay? But you got to get to know them. Visit the local stores, not to sell. Not to sell. You already know you can't sell cold calling. That's why I'm doing this training tonight. You already know that you falling on your face. What kind of pie? I like pumpkin myself this time of year. That's my favorite pie. I'm a big cherry pie fan, and I really like a good deep dish apple pie with cinnamon sprinkled on the top. But you got to visit your local stores, and don't go in there to sell them anything. Go in there to introduce yourself. Go in there and start building that relationship. Okay? Chamber of Commerce meetings. Go join your local chamber. And let me tell you, they're always looking for people to speak. For $250 an hour and a plane ticket, I'll come speak. And we'll sign up everybody in the room for you. Okay? Chamber of Commerce meetings. Great place to go. Great place to introduce your product. Great place to talk. Okay? Meet and greets. There's a site online, and I was talking to Cynthia about this earlier. It's called meetups.com. meetups.com. Find the meetups and greets in your area. Talk to the Chamber of Commerce. Find out where the businessmen hang out and what they do. And be a part of that. You know what our problems is? We don't allow our business to be fun. We're stuffed shirts and all that crap, and yeah, meetup.com. Meetup, meetup.com. Yeah, meet up, not meet ups. Meet up, meet up. Thank you, Cynthia. That's the Texas in me. And go out and do these meetups, man. Go out and find out where they're at. Show up and walk in and start introducing yourself to people. Networking is the most powerful way of selling things in the world. And Cynthia said something very important earlier. And Cynthia, I did listen to what you said. About 50% of the time anyway. If you know somebody that you are in these meetups with, okay, and in the meetup, and you're sitting there and you know he sells cookies, and you have an event where you need cookies, that's who you need to use. That's what networking is all about. Find out, you know what, it may cost you another $2 or $3, but I'm going to tell you right now, that extra $2 or $3 is going to go a heck of a long ways for that extra that you had to pay. And the cookies are probably going to be better than Walmart anyway. So use that networking group. Not only use them for your benefit, but use them for their products. If they've got what you need, use them. If you need somebody to cut your hair and they got a barber there, and he's become your friend, use them. Arthur, I've never wore a suit and tie. I usually wear a polo and khakis and some shoes. I don't want to walk in and look like a salesman personally. Now, when I used to sell other things, I walked in with a suit and tie, but that's just because that was the attire. I think the attire, and some guys on here probably, yeah, meetup.com, www.meetup.com. So, you know, But Gary says he gets his massage every week through a meetup, through networking, you know. So, but you got to get together. You have to build a network. Greg Marshall says he wears jeans and shirt tails out. I like to wear my shirt tails out when I wear my jeans too. And my shirt is pressed, of course. And my jeans are pressed, of course. But, you know, it all depends on your area. It all depends on your area. You know, my area, people just don't wear suit and ties. They either wear slacks or jeans and a shirt. Pretty much, polo, you know. You want your clients to feel comfortable when you walk in the door. If they feel like the IRS just walked in, they're not going to feel very comfortable. You walk in with a briefcase and a shirt, a suit and a tie, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love dressing up. I've got a whole closet full of suits. But, you know, I know when to wear them and when not. I usually wear them to funerals. So you have to build a relationship. If you're not going in to build a relationship, you're wasting your time. You got to go in and build a relationship. Cynthia and I talked about this for a long time. Don't go in there shoving something down their throat. You got to build a relationship, okay? Greg Marshall said the 1990s called and they want their sports coat back. Absolutely, brother. Start a business networking group, okay? And I bet you none of you have done this. I know I haven't. This is something that's very important. Start your own business networking group. Find a place that you can get together on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, or even a Saturday when a bunch of business people can come together and give them all a chance to stand up, introduce themselves, and tell the group what they do, and start a business networking group. Guess what that networking group's going to start doing? Guess what they're going to start doing? They're going to start using your product, and you're going to start using theirs. Cynthia says, ask your connection genuine questions about their business. That's very important. Genuine questions. And let me tell you something. Most business owners, especially if they've been in business a long time and they pass it down through their family, they love to talk about that. Gary Benson says if you dress as a salesman, you're going to throw up a stop sign, and you absolutely are. Start a business networking group, a mobile business networking group. Teach people let me tell you something. As hot as mobile is, nobody knows about it. That's why they look at you like you're stupid when you walk in the door. What do you mean? I've never seen a mobile phone before. Well, don't you realize that everybody that walks in your door's got a mobile phone? Well, yeah, I do, but what the hell do they use it for? They use it because they put them little square things on there and they can click on them and they can come right to your business. What do you think about that, friend? Well, you know what? I never thought about that. I'm telling you, I hear it every day. Well, what do people use that for? What do they need that for? What do I need that for? You've got to educate these people. What a better place to educate them than the business networking group that you started. And you bring in 20 or 30 guys that get together, and guess what? Next thing you know, you got a golf tournament, and next thing you know, you're hanging out at the lake, and next thing you know, you go out and drink a couple of beers together. Next thing you know, they're giving you $1,000 a month for your app. That's the way it works. And I'm going to tell you, that's the way it works with Cynthia. You know what she told me tonight? She doesn't sell an app for less than $1,000 setup fee. Now, for those of you that just fell out of your chair, can pick yourself up, because this is how Cynthia built her business. Exactly what I'm talking about right now. And she's throwing up some things as I'm talking that I'm sharing with you. Okay? $1,000 an app. Let me tell you something. You don't got to sell a lot of $1,000 apps to make a lot of money. 100 apps a year, 2 apps a week, 6 figures. Learn who they are before you tell them who you are and what you do. Networking. Greg says his average is $1,200 to $2,000. Learn who they are before you tell them who you are and what you do. Out of respect. People love to talk about themselves. Stop selling and let them buy. tonight is the most simple thing for those of you who are struggling with sales to do. And you're going to do one of two things. I can promise you. You're going to take heed and say, you know what? I can go out and do that. I can go out and talk to people all day long. I can go out and make this happen. I can go out and I can start sharing and talking because that's what I like to do. I don't know how to sell, but I can sure talk. I can sure build relationships, and then I can let everybody know that I am the mobile app person in town. And they're going to want what you have. I'd a whole lot rather buy from a friend than I would from somebody I don't know. I can guarantee you that. That's why I traded my hometown. I'd a whole lot rather buy from somebody I know than somebody I don't know. I don't care what it is. Stop selling and let them buy. Build your network and let them buy. Build your network and build relationships, and everybody will buy. And I know this is true because I know Cynthia, and I know how she's built her business, and this is exactly what she's done. A very successful business, I might add. Very successful business. She didn't start off this way, but she learned and she massaged it and she made it. She made it work. She made it work, and yeah, that's very important. Thank you, Sid. She says when you plug into a local networking group, commit to go consistently, not just a few times. Commit, 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 commit. It's like a marriage. You got to commit to it or it falls apart. If they don't think you're faithful, they're going to kick you to the curb. That's right. Or they will forget about you. You know? Commitment, trust, it's all about the relationship. That's what you got to do. And let me tell you something. If you don't trust somebody in a relationship, a romantic relationship, guess what happens? It falls apart. Who can you sell to? Anybody that has a door that opens up, Arthur. If you walk by a business and they're a business and the door is open, that's who you sell to. I sell to everybody from hair salons to smoke shops to muffler shops to dance studios to bridal studios, golly, lawyers. I don't think there's not one niche market that I've not sold to. I hate selling to restaurants, but I sold to a couple of restaurants. That's not a niche I like to play with, so I don't. But there's not a niche out there that you don't. Schools are a great place to go. What you're going to find in schools, unless they're rural towns, most of your big areas have mobile apps. But if they don't, it's a great place to go. SuccessfulThinkersNetwork.com. Okay? Find one near you based on know, like, trust, and free. Sports teams, yeah, Little League teams are a great place for these things. Anybody, listen, Arthur, if they've got a smartphone and they do something that they need to put information out on, they are a client. Ryan Fristo says he's had great success with clothing consignment stores. There's 3 left in his town that he hasn't sold yet. You know? Professional sports teams, most professional sports teams have mobile apps, but if you can get in with a professional sports team, go for it. Everybody needs an app. Let me make this extremely clear. Let me make this perfectly where everybody understands what I'm saying. If they have a business, they need an app. If they need a native app, then you need to find a native app builder, but everybody needs an app. That's right. Best to know what you're going to sell before walking in the door. Think as if you're the owner and what he'll need. See, I'm very simple. Most of you guys sell these mobile apps. I sell digital business cards. They got 5 buttons on it. I'll walk in and get my $200 and walk out. But if you're selling a full-blown app, different story. You know? I mean, do they need photos? Do they need coupons? What do they need? I mean, look in the platform and know what you've got and know what they're going to need. Walk in. If you get to know them, you will know what they need. If you know they're putting coupons in the newspapers with QR codes in them, guess what? They need coupons and they need QR codes. Absolutely. Any more questions? Any more comments? Nobody, I haven't, but I will. I've got your email, and I will find out on that, my man. Kind of had a couple of things going on. Thesuccessful.com. Let me go back up and find it. Somebody just typed, you're pretty straightforward, aren't you? Yeah. I could sit here and lie to you and tell you you could go out and sell everybody that you walked in the door, but I don't want to do that. I'd rather tell you straight up and tell you how it is. I'm out there every day. I know what sales are like. I know what selling these apps are like, and I know that you've got to build relationships. It's called successfulthinkersnetwork.com. I can't type, but I'll try this. Successful Thinkers Network.com. Do y'all hear me typing? Hey, if it's not spelled correctly, you know what I'm talking about. SuccessfulThinkersNetwork.com. And I sent that to everybody. But you get the gist when you see it. Okay, there you go. SuccessfulThinkers.com. Truth is crystal clear. That's absolutely right, buddy, and I ain't going to beat around the bush. Are we still using Menufy? Yes, we're still using Menufy. Just go out and sell it. Absolutely. Ashish is waiting on you to call him. Trust me. Menufy is a third-party restaurant program for menus, and it's absolutely free. And no Menufy will send you some dollars for selling that. And it ties right into your mobile app. Any more questions, comments, or anything else you want to say? Can you give out, it's Kerry at instantappwizard.com, Kerry at instantappwizard.com. Gary, thank you, Gary. Man, that's pretty awesome, dude. Gary runs a meetup on Thursdays and talks about what he learns here on Wednesdays. Well, Gary, I hope I'm in your area sometimes. And no, we will not be training next week. Thank you, Michael Cahill, for asking that. We will not train next week. I will be stuffed in my face with turkey and dressing and gravy and cream potatoes and anything else I can put in my mouth at the same time. Thank you, Michael Cahill, for reminding me about that. We will not have training next Thursday. We will not have training Christmas week either. And depending on when January the 1st is, we will probably not have training that week. My stomach is the size of my fist except Thanksgiving. Then it becomes the size of a basketball. Absolutely, dude. All right, guys. Hey, take what I told you tonight. If you're struggling with sales, take what I told you tonight and go out and kick some serious butt tomorrow and let me know. Let me know, Tangelia. It is great to have you back. Yes, Kerry at Instant App Wizard. App Wizard. InstantAppWizard.com. I am the wizard. I am the wizard of the whiz. All right, guys. It's been great. Thank you so much. I love each and every one of you with all my heart. It's an absolute pleasure to come to you. God bless. Good night. And we will see you in the Facebook group.